shining bright within this trance. Galactic whisper, ancient lore. Beyond the veil, there's something more. Particles in endless flight, woven dreams in purest light. Quasar pulses, heartbeats swell. Stars ignite our truth to tell. We are starlight trapped in form, fragments of a greater storm. Trained and tested, paths aligned, ready to serve our spirits fire.
This idea of this man coming down and creating us is so ridiculous. I envision more, now that I know a little bit about science, and that we are made, how the elements are made. They're made in the stars. The heat of the stars and the reaction creates the elements, all the elements, except for the ones made in laboratories, which now we're doing what God does. It's crazy. By breaking the atom, that's what the creative force does. We are an example of the creative force. So all of that star material comes to the Earth. Well, it is the Earth. The Earth was made of the star material. And we still get more of it. It comes from space, meteorites and stuff all the time. So the idea that life on this planet started from bacteria and microbes from space that evolved, and then maybe even helped along the way by a more advanced civilization who's already gone through this, and they become the caretakers, the custodians, and that as we evolve, that's what we'll become too at one point. Let's not see that's the weird thing about calling them gods. Not gods. It's not. We would be seen as gods in 500 years ago. The Spaniards were seen as gods. They were seen as half man, half god, and they could control the beasts, and they could transform into beasts. And they had stone that shined, or a crystal that shined with the steel. They didn't know what steel was. So I would be seen as a god. And as I've said before, man is corruptible. As long as he has not resolved, as long as we have not resolved our the narcissistic emotions, the painful emotions, the emotions that hate and don't give. Then man's corruptible. Every man, myself included. And power corrupts. Cannot wield power over other men. You do, you will become a tyrant. I don't care how righteous you are. That power will corrupt. And we have thousands of years of patriarchy to show you how corruptible man is. They'll declare themselves gods and prophets over the common person, and then exploit them for their own personal gain, to fill their insatiable hunger, to fill that hole. Same hole that we have. Same feeling of separation that we all experience. And what they will do to fill that once they get that power is beyond belief. And I can imagine it. I can just imagine it. You know, when I had the least self-esteem, when I felt the worst, to have all of a sudden have admiration like that. People like they listen to what you say, and now all of a sudden you're important. And especially if you're still butthurt about that. What are you going to do? I'm going to show them. I'm going to get kicked out of the military. I felt that it was, but I felt this. Whoa, 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 whoa! What I felt was they're wrong. They're wrong about me, and I'm going to prove it. And that's what that gave me so much energy and passion to do well in my to just learn everything I can learn, grow, 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 and at the same time deal with a serious relationship, first one in my life. And what can happen when you devalue yourself, when you make somebody else's values what somebody else's wants and values trump your own? It's yeah, that's ruthless. It's cowardly. But see, I say it's cowardly, but you know what? This is the thing. Me, I say that, but then I'm so wrong for saying that, because I never felt like a coward. I felt like I didn't want to hurt their feelings by expressing my displeasure. You know, um, and there's my fault right there, because what I ended up doing is I ended up like holding it all in and dealing with it passive aggressively instead of confronting him, and just being bitchy or whatever. It's like, so I was so afraid to say something, because what happens if I say the wrong thing? Say go puppy, say go puppy. And what if I say the wrong thing and then they want to leave you, you know? So it was like so afraid to say anything, So and so then I became like just upset all the time. I'm happy all the time. Oh man, it just made everybody around me miserable. See, I forgive myself, because I'm telling you, that was so painful, that again, the cognitive dissonance. You know, my friend Carlos was texting me yesterday and telling me about how that I'm wrong about narcissists. And I'm like, okay. And talking to me like I just started on this path and I don't know what I'm doing. And the thing about that, it was so condescending and dismissive. And he tried to quiz me, and he was like, and he answered with no. He says, what kind of person attacks a narcissist? And I said, another narcissist. I said, empathic people do not attack a narcissist. They defend, but they don't attack. It's against our nature. That's what narcissists do. And narcissistic people, self-focused. It's all about them. And I experience it time and time again. It proves itself over and over and over again. I'm wrong. I'm not doing wrong. Show me. Show me, show me, show me. Show me where this guy, the ultra, isn't right on the money. Because I tell you what, from my experiences in life, he has nailed it. I mean, in an honest, firsthand way. Even if he's acting, I feel his coldness. I feel his sense of superiority. And on the subject, he's superior, and he knows it. He's fully aware how correct this information is. That's why he has consulting, and he charges for his time, and he's brutally honest. What does he have to? What's he trade? He doesn't feel anything for you. So you're going, when you go to a psychiatrist, you're going to somebody who has feelings and and has compassion for people. That's why they got into that field, is to help people out. This guy did not get into this to help people out. He got into this to leave a legacy, to be the expert, the source. And I mean, that's huge. That's not just writing a book. That's like you want those doctors to reference your material. That's how good his material is. That this needs to be taught in psychiatry school, because it is so extensive. I mean, he has just, I mean, just super depth into the mind of somebody with this that has these behaviors. It's unbelievable. It just blows me away. It's he said he started from with self analysis, because he had been dating this girl, and she told him, she was a psychology student, and she told him, "I think you're a narcissist." And of course, he kind of like balked at it, and I'm sure gave her a bunch of shit. But then he researched it later, and then went and got diagnosed. And not only was he a narcissist, but he was a psychopath too. So once, because he was self-aware, because he was aware of his behavior, he just didn't know what it was. Once he was told, once he was diagnosed, then he had a direction. He had a a path to walk down, to now start understanding who he is. And see, I understand this guy. It's like, I feel like I'm like his opposite. You know what I mean? Um, he was interested because he knew he was very different, and he knew that he just didn't give a shit. He knew that his mother was very cruel, very stern, very emotional. She was a narcissist, very narcissistic, very proper, very vain. And he came home with an A. She says, "Well, you got an A+ last week." So it was everything, never quite measured up. And he figured out a very early age that he didn't care. He had become numb to her criticism. Um, then he figured out that he could manipulate the situation, and he could. So he always knew his behavior was odd, but it was perfectly normal to him, and he said nothing wrong with it. So through self-realization, when he got the diagnosis, instead of saying, "Oh, bullshit, that's not me," he's like, "Okay, well, that describes exactly what my life experience has been." And then he because he knew that now, yeah, that's the direction he went. He acknowledged, and by acknowledging, what was going on with himself, it kind of freed him to, not freed him, that's what compelled him to do more research on it. 30 years. Since 25, 30 years, he's been compiling this work. And I'm telling you, if somebody spent 25 years compiling my work, I'm telling you, it's tried and true. And it's weird because I read back when I first started this, and I have written so much of what I still adhere to, but I had no real understanding of it. Very odd. It's like I write it as if I had a full understanding of it, but I didn't. I just knew that was the answer. I just didn't understand the answer. See, that's the thing. Just because you have said, "Oh, I have the answer," doesn't mean you have the reason and purpose of it, or the it's like there's okay. So you uncovered what? Okay, to me, what's the meaning of this whole thing? The answer: love. What is me? Okay. And the second one was a what question too. What is it? What's it made of? And the answer came to me, emotions. All of them felt to the highest point. And when it's complete, you'll feel every feeling all at the same time to its highest point. That's powerful. Because at the nth degree of any emotion is this kind of a dreamy, out of body state. It's like it's the portal. Until you have all the keys in the port and the whole combination to the portal, won't open. I gotta go. Jeez. All right, kids. Well fed, you all watered. You happy? You happy, girl? You a happy girl? We go get some cheese for you. That's just so cute. So yeah, it's like I have a story to tell, and I'm gonna tell people right honestly. This is what I base my entire life, my entire discipline, the principles of my life are based on this story. And to me, I've experienced it as truth. I experience it every day as it is my truth. And it doesn't give me hope. It gives me assurance that this is the way. But I'm not telling anybody else that they got to believe it's the way. You have to figure that out yourself. I'll tell you my story. I'll tell you the story that has been I've been writing down for the past 22 years now. Since October of 1999, I started writing this story as it came to me. And I was in jail when I started writing, so I had plenty of time. So that was my rebirth was jail. It was taking me all the way out of the world, all the way from the streets. That took me out of society. I mean, out of being a part of the community, the society, and jail. The streets took me out of community. Jail took me out of society. So once I was out of society, there was no place left to fall. There was no place left to go to shed me of my old life. It's like if we're supposed to be a pyramid, that's the bottom of the pyramid, very bottom. And so that day that I did that baptism, when I got back to my cell, I had on the new man. It was a costume with a mask. This is the new man. And what was my first dictate? Practice what you preach, but don't preach. Don't preach. Share. And share with humility, not like, well, this is what happened to me. No, it's like, this is my experience and this is what I learned from it. So this lesson I have kept as part of my discipline, my principle for all these years, because it always proves right. By holding on to that principle, I always did what was right. And since righteousness is what we're looking for, that's what we're becoming. That is what the lesson is to be righteous, to always do what's right. And once you know what's wrong, then you know what's right. It's the opposite. Whatever that was, the opposite of that, there you go. And that's the thing that I learned. We learn in the negative. We learn our lessons in the negative. We don't learn from our successes. We learn a little bit, but where the real lesson is in the failure. But it's never a failure. It's the fall. So you fall, you get back up, clear your head, center yourself, get your shit together, and start dreaming. Start that imagination going again. Let those thoughts come in and start formulating the next thing. When you stop formulating those ideas, when you think you got it all, that's when you're done. That's when you've quit. And then you'll stagnate. You'll stagnate for the rest of your life. So unless you become that which you set out to be, and you do it right, always right, and then you're corruptible. And the only way you can get to do it right and always do it right is to resolve all that negativity, all that ugly, just draining emotion that just hangs on to you, the guilt, the shame, the remorse, the vengeance, the ugliness, the hate, the judgment, the pontificating, the wallowing, the whining, the making excuses. Once all that's resolved, the only thing left is that the void. But that void is what connects. It's like it connects our heart and mind together. In the ego. That's what it's the caretaker now. And it's the old man. So what is it doing? It's sitting back, being the old man and advising. It has no pull anymore, but it's an advisor. It is your experiences, all your emotional experiences. But now it's minus. It's the memories detached from the emotions, except for this one. It's like beyond us. So it's like you have to be triggered into it. And you can never be triggered into that, except for by God itself. Which, why? It's like, why would you trigger a piece of yourself into feeling and experiencing the void, the nothingness, the eternal nothingness of like a black hole, falling for all eternity with inawareness? No. That's why we just don't feel, but it serves a purpose. I see the purpose in that. It's the only thing that keeps it's what keeps the ego alive, and it guards that emotion, that thing, that feeling, it guards that nothingness. And since nothing can trigger that nothingness, it doesn't need to defend. It doesn't need to take your consciousness. It doesn't need to take your conscious space. It just sits there. It sits there until you ask it something. Whereas before, it would sit there until somebody triggered it. That's enlightenment. Where there's nothing left to trigger, then everything is by conscious decision. And you're always going to do right. Because you're complete. You're not, there's no void to fulfill. Why would you betray yourself or anybody else to create a void where no void needs to exist? And maybe that's what happens. Maybe that's what happened with Lucifer, to be able to come down and do this deed, to be the darkness so that we could see the light. What if he took apart and suppressed hatred, anger, resentment, greed, power. So all those the emotions that those are attached to, and it's the fear is the core, of course. And so all those things are suppressed. So there's no longer fully conscious and connected to the divine until the cycle is over. He has to remain that way, but that's his purpose. And I don't know if it's physical. I think it's just spirit, and that's how it is. Spirit tempts men because this is what it's supposed to do. You have to feel these things. So he tempts us into, and he does it through the spirit. That it's like the spirit that speaks to evil men and men that have closed themselves off to because of their path, their journey. The narcissist. That's the voice that they hear, because they can't hear the empathic voice, the voice speaking of that. And maybe that's what it is. And so it's past the most wicked. We'll call them wicked. The most blocked off from love. And they, through their actions and their decrees, things, and their enforcement, pass it on to other people. They pass the lesson on to other people. They're supposed to. It's their job. It's their purpose. Before even the most cruel and horrible individual has a divine purpose. And it has to be, because we cannot grow without it. We won't know the light unless we're in the darkness. They define each other. And so, you say necessary evil? It's exactly what it is. It's necessarily experiencing that kind of selfishness and greed and pride and just every unclean thing. It's all on purpose. It's necessary. And see, when you're no longer motivated by fear, because you're guided by the light, you can see that. You can see what it is. You see clearly what it is, because because you're not motivated. You're not triggered by the fear that what these men say evokes. Doesn't trigger you. Not afraid of that. I've been in jail. So how is that? So if I go to jail, I just write my book. So it's like I don't know. I think should have lost my train of thought. There's something is happening. It's seriously happening. That's better. I need some door closing. Sorry. All right. Gotta go. See you later, guys. Bye, kids. Bye, puppy dog. Bye, puppy girl. Puppy girl. Gotta go. It's 3:00. Oh my God. Jeez. I'm telling you, I cannot get out of here for this. I don't know. I don't know why. Thanks. I'm going anyways. That's it for now.